Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about putting D&D physical hardback books into your personal loadout. What does that mean? Specifically, I'm incredibly blessed right now. We're moving into spring in America, and I know different places have different seasons at different times of the year, and so we're coming out of the winter. Winter is a really tough time for me. Specifically, winter is difficult for me because, winter is really challenging for me because I like to exercise, I like to move, but it's hard to do in the wintertime. It's very hard to do in the wintertime. So I love spring, summer, and fall when I could ride my bike, I could get out and walk. And so, in order to do that, I have I'll ride bikes in Philadelphia. I go to Longwood Gardens and I'll walk around there. I'm starting to use a new app called City Stride, which tracks you walking every street in your city, and then you could target it at other cities. Very, very exciting. So, but one of the things is, this is a new year, and I carry different bags at different times of years. And currently, my favorite bag is this Nike. It's specifically a Nike courier bag, and it's very slim. It's a light personal loadout. What do I mean by a personal loadout? The equipment you use to attack the day when you're not chained to a desk. That's the best way to say it. So basically, many knowledge workers, we need to stay in one place because we have to have access to certain tools. And so basically, when you have off time and you can move, you have to be able to move quickly, and you have to have a personal loadout. Essentially, my phone, my chargers for my phone, right? And I have to have pen and paper on me. It's like I have to capture thoughts, and I do it best on pen and paper. So I have to have pen and paper on me. And then one of the things that's happened in this year, 2022, is why we're talking right now, is I have to have a Dungeons & Dragons hardback with me, right? So one of the things is I tried several bags because I realized I was carrying a D&D hardback every place I went. And I realized I have to, and it was, so in order to, I would take these hardbacks with me, and then if there was ever a point where I was waiting for anything, I'd pull the hardback out and I'd start taking notes. And I had a commonplace journal to take notes with, right? And it was, and so I had a book that I could take notes in. I had the D&D book, and it was awkward and cumbersome, and it didn't flow well. So I have this new solution, and I'm sharing it with you now. So I have a courier bag. It can fit one, not two. I tried to get two in there. It can fit one D&D hardback in it, right? And then it can also keep all those other things I said, except the commonplace book. I did replace the commonplace book, and I'll explain how I did that. And all this is, I want to get you to do the same, right? And this is really important. I think if you are a tier 1 dungeon master, right, you really should be carrying a D&D book with you all the time when you're carrying your personal loadout. Part of that should be a Dungeons & Dragons hardback book, right? Now, when you get back to your house or wherever you live, you could switch that book out, right? And I'm going to talk about taking notes in the book. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, but this allows you to carry with you the D&D book and this personal loadout so that you can do what you need, right? And so basically, what you want to do is you want to get a bag that will contain it. For some, that's going to be a backpack. The courier bag that I'm using is very slim, and it just fits the D&D hardback sideways, right? And it doesn't matter. It'll contain any version. There's enough, because there is a little bit of a difference between the a 1E hardback, which I have plenty of, and a 3E hardback, which I have a little bit of, and the 5E hardback, which I'm getting close to having every one of, right? And so you need it to fit that and your chargers and 2 or 3 pens, right? And that's my personal kit, right? That's everything I need. Now, what about the paper? I used to have a commonplace book, but it was cumbersome, and it was adding to the loadout, and it was quite heavy, right? My personal loadout. And so how did I replace it? Well, I got a big one for you. The D&D 5th edition books all have a piece of black paper they have 2 pieces of black paper at the back of the book and 2 pieces of black paper at the front of the book, right? And so what I have been doing is I carry Post-it notes, small Post-it notes. You can choose whatever size fits for you. And I carry just a little plastic container, and in there are light blue sticky notes, light pink sticky notes, and then yellow sticky notes. And so what I do is I'll just put a blue sticky note in there. That's a male tiefling warlock. Pink sticky note, that is a female dwarf cleric, right? And so I don't have to write female. It just saves a little bit of time. And then the yellow is used for everything else. So I can quickly add NPCs and NPCs into the book very, very quickly. Gendered, right? Seeing the gender very quickly from, I haven't figured out what I'm going to use for binary or all the other genders yet. Let me know if you have any suggestions for those. But the yellow is then for story notes and whatever else notes I want. And those literally go in my pocket, or of course they absolutely can. I actually have a tiny little plastic container that holds 4 different sticky note pads and allows me to carry the yellow, the pink, and the blue. And I'm not sure what I want to do with the other colors because it's easy to get very different colors. What I do is I'll write notes and I'll stick them into the front, the back of the front cover. And so basically the back of the book and the front of the book are actually 3 full pages of just pure black cardboard paper in the books, and they're a perfect place to add these sticky notes. And then when I filled the whole page, I'll actually just shoot them with my camera, which automatically loads up to my Google account, and then I have a record of everything I wrote in there, and then I don't even have to keep those sticky notes anymore, right? But it's a way for me in absolutely minimal like weight and space to always carry one Dungeons & Dragons hardback book. And this has really been incredibly helpful for me because in able to do this, I'm taking like super high in-depth notes on every book, right? And that's a big deal for me. And also, this is a way to write in your books, put notes into your books, but then if you ever want to, sell your books for one reason or another, they're in good condition and you haven't scrawled all your notes in them. It's totally okay to do that, but this is just a way that actually works just as well, is incredibly portable, allows me to always have one D&D hardback in my personal loadout for how I attack the day. And I wanted to share it because it's really, it's just been really fantastically productive. And I'm just so joyous to always have a D&D hardback from 1E, 2E, 3E. Do I have any 4E hardbacks at all? I may not have a single 4E hardback. Wow, that's telling. And then I have like close to 30. I definitely have 25 plus 5Es now. I should I'm sorry. I do own 4E because I own the PHB, the MM, and the DMG in 4E. So I do have hardbacks in every single version. It's interesting though. I just realized, walking through this, I don't own a single 4E book outside of the core books, I think, as physical hardback books. And I would love to tell you that I'd go get them, but they're quite expensive. For all the smack that people talk about 4E, people are buying the heck out of them. They're not cheap, right? So that's kind of interesting. Why shouldn't I be able to buy them, buy a stack of them for $30? You can. In fact, I don't know if you can buy most 4E hardbacks for less than they retailed originally today. But still, everybody hates it, right? Yeah, whatever. All that's my opinion on how you should always carry a D&D hardback with you. Do you do this? Do you always carry a D&D hardback with you? If you do, how do you do it? If you don't, why not? Like, are you trying to be a tier 2 dungeon master? All that's my opinion. Love to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.